Hi again. So I'm going to talk about continuation of gene mutations, and I'm going to tell some explanation that come to my mind. This is only my theory. This has no proof, nor this is something that everybody would agree. We saw that the gene mutation occurs either because of reason for it, like I explained it to you about the sickle cell gene, which again, not all the scientists agree. Or sometimes it occurs spontaneously. Again, the reason we call it spontaneously is because we certainly don't know why did it occur. So the gene mutations, some of them are helpful for the survival of the animal. On the other hand, there are others which are detrimental. So these gene mutations that occur which are detrimental or which are for improvement of the survival, we're not sure why exactly they happen. Certainly the environment could play a role, but then even without the environment, we don't know why certain people get certain genes from their parents while their siblings don't get it. So I'm coming to a little bit theological explanation for this, and again, this is not a perfect explanation, but let's talk about it for a few minutes. If you're constructing a house, you definitely need bricks or cement blocks or cement or concrete, studs and roof and paint and all sorts of stuff that is needed to make a house. So it is not of a surprise that as much as a unicellular organism like amoeba, which has one cell, or a small number of cells like a roundworm, 279 cells, or a higher one like a human being which has multiple multi-billion cells, they all are made out of cells. And of course the function of the cells is controlled by the nucleus, and the nucleus has the chromosomes and chromosome has the genes, like we talked about it before. So it doesn't surprise me that when the genetic analysis was done, we found out that there are certain things which are very common. Because if you want to make something, you're going to use the same material over and over again. My thinking is that the genetics is the route. The gene mutation is the way in which effect of your karmas are expressed or are brought to fruition in the current life. Let me repeat it. So if there is a gene, let's presume there is a gene for, say, alcoholism. That gene is transferred from father and mother to the child. Again, there is no proof that there is a gene. These are multiple reasons for this. The way in which the karma will work is they would act through presence of that gene or mutation of that gene that will make somebody diabetic or somebody alcoholic. And certainly the environment plays a role. So if under certain environmental conditions, both parents are diabetics, the child is likely to be diabetic. So if there is some gene which is inherited through which you become or have certain disease, you are born in that family. So if a person has done some karmas where he's going to suffer or he's going to have an effect which is a manifestation of, say, diabetes, then he will be attracted or born through the parents who are diabetic. If the force is intense to become the diabetic or the effect of diabetics are in his present life likely to occur due to certain karmas, then he'll be born to the parents who have both diabetes. So he will almost 100% get diabetes. And then, of course, there is some free will, which we'll talk in a minute. But let's say the forces are potent, but not as potent as I just mentioned. then you may be born in a family where only one parent has a diabetes. And so your chance of getting diabetes is higher, but not 100%. So you see how the effect of karma could act through the genes to make somebody diabetic, or somebody make it potential to have a diabetes, but leave a space for free will. So if you have a free will to fight, so-called fight, this particular disease, then you may be controlling your diet, you may be controlling your weight, you may be getting checkups to make sure you don't have complications from it. That's the free will. Now, in certain way, the free will is not 100%. What do I mean by that? That means, in spite of having a free will, if your karma is going to make you diabetic, you will continue to be diabetic. But the free will allow the severity of diabetes to be reduced, or the complications of diabetes may be reduced, diagnosed early, treated quickly, etc. That's where the free will comes in. So the free will has limitation. Something like if you have a dog which you have tied to a pole with a 20-foot leash. The dog has a free will to move around for 20 feet from the pole, but he does not have free will to go longer distance than 20 feet. So the free will does work, but free will not 100% reverse the effects of karmas. So this is a hypothetical example. Please do not conclude that I'm saying somebody becomes diabetic because of some karma that he wants to be diabetic, or somebody wants to be alcoholic, or whatever the disease may be. This is just an example to make you understand that how some people are pre-diabetic, diabetic, diabetes with complication, and in spite of that, certain people continue to indulge in the activities, the weight control, the diet, the exercise, which makes it worse. That's the free will. And then there are others which take action so that their health improves, the diabetes is well controlled, complication rates are reduced, and they don't suffer the outcome that happens with uncontrolled diabetes. So when you have done certain karmas, and when you have certain attractions or lust or desires, you are seeking a body and an environment where those desires will be fulfilled. And in addition to that, those effects of karma have an easy time to come to fruition. And certainly you will have an environment which is not very conducive to fight it with your free will. But again, as I said, you do have a free will. So if somebody, let's take a positive one, let's say somebody has loved music and is a musician in their current life, and he continues to progress and wants to be better and better, or still has a desire to be a great musician. In his next life, he will try to seek parents that would have similar attitude, similar aptitude, and in the environment which is conducive to learning the music, progressing in the music, and becoming music as a career or become a great musician. You do often see this, that certain great musicians' offsprings or the kids are also good musicians. Does this happen because of nature, or does it happen because of nurture? Does it mean that they have a genes which give them a chance to be a better musician, and the environment, parents being into music, improves their chance and they become great musicians? Again, there is no concrete way to prove whether it is nature, the genes, or the nurtured, the environment, with the parents who are musicians themselves. But certainly that is a possibility, so that the genes is a conduit through which the effects of karma occur. I'll talk a little bit more about it in my next video. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.